Okay, do we got a banking crisis out there? I don't know. Listen, there's going to be more issues. There's going to be more problems moving forward. There's no doubt about this. It's going to happen. Let's start with this. Let's start with the fact that there's about 620. This is just the United States. $620 billion in assets that banks are holding in the United States, many regional banks that are underwater. They're underwater right now. Again, these are, they can hold them to maturity, 30 years, they're going to be okay. Or they can hold them until the interest rate environment changes, they'll be okay. Again, it's gotten a little bit better. So if you wanted to sell at a loss, you're going to be selling at less of a loss today than you were a week ago based upon interest rates. It's still a loss. How is this going to translate? But this is the United States, $620 billion. How bad do you think it is over in Europe? Now, I want to remind everybody, not just Europe, the rest of the world. There was about $19 trillion in assets that were paying negative yields around the globe. $19 trillion. You want to talk about being underwater? Woof. Now, again, European banks have a very cozy relationship with the governments. A very cozy relationship. They've been around. I mean, there's that bank from Siena that's one of the oldest banks in the world. They were in heap loads of trouble back in 2010, 2011, and magically they're still around. The relationship is, these governments constantly have to issue debt to pay for all of their social programs, and we're becoming the same way. And these banks agree to buy it. And oftentimes, their books, they overlook what's on the books. Let's just put it that way. I don't know how the European banking regulators are going to handle this, but again, they're much easier than ours. Just to be quite honest, they are. Okay, they got a very close relationship between the banks and the governments over there. The story is Credit Suisse. The thing was down. I think it was down 25% this morning. I don't know what it's down right now. I don't own the stock. Again, it's had issues for a long time. Looking to make some massive changes within its bank. Again, some are saying, why bother? Is that bank really even necessary at this point in time? UBS just take over, Julius Baer, some of these other Swiss banks. I remember back in the 1990s when I was jumping up and down when we were allowing all these Swiss banks to come in here to the United States and buy up American banking institutions. Remember it was Credit Suisse First Boston for a while. They're unloading all of those First Boston assets at this point in time, but it bothered me back then. We'll see. Again, yesterday on the podcast, we talked about falling knives. It's something you don't want to get yourself involved with. Now, as far as navigating financial storms, corrections, it's what we're good at. I've had my fair share in my career of the financial crisis, banking crisis, you name it. Again, it's real simple. It's real simple. It's quality, people. I mean, you think about simple things like nursery rhymes that we were taught. The three little pigs and the big bad wolf, and you had the one pig who built his house out of straw, and then you had another pig that built his house out of sticks, and then you had the other pig who was working really hard. All the other pigs like, why are you putting so much effort into this house? Why are you building this brick house? Well, when the big bad wolf came along and huffed and puffed and blew down that house, and that house got to the brick house, couldn't do it. Financial storms, corrections, problems, they're going to happen, my friends. It's life. It's life. The regulators can't stop this. I mean, again, more than enough. Everybody's debating regulations right now. more than enough regulations to have caught what was going on over at Silicon Valley Bank. Just, regulations are only as good as the regulators. Get my drift? But anyway, high quality weathers all of these storms. Companies with great balance sheets, companies with cash on their balance sheets, they're going to reap the rewards. Remember when I talked about, it's the same thing in terms of business with that whole JP Morgan quote from back in the day, is that, during bear market, stocks return to their rightful owners. What I'm saying is that smart money, if you're smart, you're going to prevail. Be smart. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.